Love is so paradoxical, it's both empowering and debilitating, exhilarating and depressing. Yet even those who suffer most under its sway yearn to love and be loved, and know the power of that passion humanizes humans more than all the works and deeds ever done. Welcome to Breakfast Time with Tom Bergeron, Laurie Hibbert, and Bob the Puppet. My name's Jim, and I'm the announcer. Say good morning, Tom.
Good morning and happy Valentine's Day. Now, Jim, I know you're a very good writer, but did you write that?
Yes, I wrote that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That was very, very good. How about a hand?
That was beautiful.
Jim, the poet behind the paper.
Now, if I'd only remembered to get a card for my wife, I'd really be in good shape.
Yeah, just bring home a copy of this tape later. Happy Valentine's Day for Joan Collins, too. This is the front page of this morning's New York Post. Joan's $2 million Valentine. Split verdict allows Star to keep her book advance and more. You recall that Random House, her publisher, said that what she turned in was unpublishable. The jury said that they still owed her the money, and apparently Joan Collins was so grateful to the jury that she wrote thank you notes. And this kind of makes the point, I think. Roses are red, violets are blue. I just want to say that you guys are great. Phil Kogan today proves that a diamond may not only be a girl's best friend on Valentine's Day, but it can tell us a lot about the Earth's crust. Oh, you're such a romantic.
I know.
That's coming up later. Patricia Moreno, our FX personal trainer, with her producer Neville, who, as you can see, is a hard taskmaster, talks to us about yoga for two. Right, Patricia?
That's right, Tom. You'll be back here next time.
That's right. Never saw your knees that close before, did you? All right, Neville, let her up. We've got the music, the Zydeco music of Chris Jagger, Mick's brother, with us today. Also, Dr. Fred talks to us about what 26 million of you know all too well today, heartburn, and what to do about it. And speaking of possible causes of heartburn, where are you?
Find me.
I will find you in a moment. We're also going to practice psychic seduction with Brian Seth Hurst, New Age consumer expert. That's all coming up. Now, where is... Oh, here you are. What happened to your tooth?
It's my tribute to hockey.
That's where Pittsburgh Penguins
You want to go
be.
now? You want to go now? Drop the glove. You want to go now?
Excuse me. This is a... No, I can't. I can't. You know, in the early days I could, but somehow it just doesn't seem right.
Oh, yeah.
I can do this, though.
My neck, wrist, neck.
Actor Treat Williams is going to be with us, and she's a vision in Cashmere, our Valentine's vixen, Laurie Hibbert, with us today.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Can I mention, because I said Chris Jagger's with us, right?
Yes.
And it's a wonderful Zydeco inspired album. It's his first album in 19 years.
Wow.
And of course, we also have our own Cassandra Dans, Mrs. Green Thumbs.
Yes.
Now wait, want a third cut on the album, Rob? You got it ready? It's the new Cassandra Dans theme song.
She can grow a seed with the power of the sun. She got a green thumb. She got a green thumb. The Yankee Doodle married to an Englishman.
The dancing sorceress of soil, Cassandra Dans.
She got a green thumb, all right.
Let's wait till everything stops moving.
Sandra's going to give us some alternatives to roses. If you don't happen to like roses or you can't afford them, there are some wonderful things you can do.
Do you like roses?
Yes, I do.
Okay, there was, I think, it was the front page of USA Today.
Yeah.
The stat, 54% of women like a dozen. Do you like a dozen?
I always like a dozen,
Okay.
sure.
So I said a single stem,
Okay,
the
sure.
cheap romantic getaway, right?
That's a nice thing.
31%, half dozen, 15%.
What about 2 dozen? Don't they have that in?
No, they don't. No, they don't. That's in the money section.
That's my personal preference. Look what Tom Audio gave me, because he knows I'm alone on Valentine's Day. Isn't that nice?
Gee,
Tom Audio is so sweet.
who gave that to him, though?
It's a chocolate exactly. It's a chocolate covered Oreo.
Is it supposed to have tooth marks in it? So you're alone?
Yeah, Michael's in
With
Orlando.
Regis and Kathy Lee,
with the show
Melman.
down there.
That's right.
Organizing everybody else's wedding in the world.
Yeah.
Not that I'm bitter. It's okay. But yeah, they're doing their wedding.
Well, if this
week
isn't
down
an
there,
idea,
so.
nothing will.
No, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. But yeah, so he's away, so I'm doing nothing tonight with the sad music, okay? For a blue lady, yeah, okay. You got a nice romantic pick-me-news.
All right.
Whose says romance is dead? Who says romance is dead? Part 2. This time it's personal. And, but officer, I wasn't speeding.
Well, if I pick one, I get 2 as a bonus, right?
Sure,
Valentine's Day, let's go for
Yeah.
1.
Okay,
One.
Okay, you may have read, did you read USA Today
Yes,
this
I did.
morning? Oh, you did read the
USA
whole thing?
Today,
Did you read the life section?
Yeah.
So you may have read about the couple with the prenuptial, the mother of all prenuptial agreements?
I didn't.
Oh, they're from Albuquerque, New Mexico. And this is the most incredible prenuptial agreement. They didn't want to leave anything to chance, so they just detailed everything, including how many times a week they were going to have sex, what kind of gas they buy, when socks should and shouldn't be left on the floor of the bedroom, who does the laundry, by the way, the woman does, of course, and other such. And it's a 16-page prenuptial agreement, and it's all completely laid out for them. Isn't that the most bizarre thing?
Yeah.
Although Jillian's wishing she had one.
Yeah, but it also sets time aside for spontaneity, too.
Yeah, spontaneity between 2 and 4 in the afternoon.
Oh, I see them with several happy weeks ahead of them. That's amazing. Now, what's part 2?
Part 2, this time it's personal. Who says, it's no longer necessary to take that long walk down the aisle, believe it or not. No longer necessary to go to the altar and stand there in order to get married. You can now get married in cyberspace. And in fact, CompuServe is having the very first online wedding today. The bride is in Hollywood, the groom is in Venice Beach, the reverend will be at a church in Beverly Hills, and the guests are, logging on wherever they are.
If anybody has any reason why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony, please type now or forever hold your peace.
Push delete.
I understand now. See if you know about this. There are all kinds of weddings going on right down the street at the Empire State Building.
Yeah, every Valentine's Day they marry, I think it's 200 couples or something like that?
Now, they all want to get married, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that going on now? Where's noted producer Paul Shabelson? Where's he?
Hiding.
Hiding over-
Usual.
Do you know if that's going on now, Paul? Could we find out? Could we send an intern cam to the Empire State
I don't
Building?
think it's supposed to
You want to
happen
send a
until
road
later.
warrior?
What's that?
It's supposed to happen later, but we can get.
Oh,
maybe we could find
that's
people
true.
who wanna do
We
it.
have Suzanne and Jillian both here.
Yeah,
What do you
nice.
have? Oh no!
Oh, no, we
don't
have to
get to
work.
sit on the couch anymore.
Now, who's the... Jillian seemed awfully vocal during the entire Pick Your News.
No, because I wanted to make breakfast. I really wanted to make breakfast.
All right, Jill.
Good girl, Jill.
Okay, bye,
Thank you for
Jill.
volunteering.
Yeah.
Suzanne, you want to check out the World Trade Center or what now? Since we saw you last time, I kind of tipped this statistic off when I introduced Dr. Fred's segment.
Right.
According to our friends at the AMA, the American Medical Association, 26 million Americans today, right now, while they're watching this show, as we know they are suffering from heartburn, as we
Yeah.
know they should.
Yeah.
So that's it's like 10% of the country every day
You?
has heartburn.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty heartburn free.
Yeah.
Thank heavens.
What is this,
Yeah.
Huey Lewis is here? What's
It sounds like the heart of rock and roll
Yeah.
is still beating somewhere around here, yeah. What is that?
No, that's the couple making good on their prenuptial. Let's go to Spencer Garbett in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Look at this, the actual Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, man.
Boy, they look different on live TV, don't they?
They always look smaller on TV.
They do. Spencer?
We spared no expense at this show, Tom. But we are here with Iceberg, who's the mascot for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we'll go this way, and we're going to take a look at what some of the players do right before they get ready for a practice. We're here at the $8 million facility. Come on, Mr. Igloo! Oh man, this show's goofy. Anyway, they are polishing the ice right now. They're getting ready to do their practice. We'll meet some of the players, find out what they do beforehand, talk to this fine gentleman, and see what he does to get his fans going, and meet some of the fans here at the rink.
Okay, what's Iceberg drinking?
I don't know. I don't think he talks.
Oh, be quiet.
Wow, look at that.
All right, swallow your head in one deep bite.
Yeah.
Io Haynes is in Brooklyn, New York. She is at Urban Glass, where they huff, they puff, and they blow you a vase. Io?
Happy Valentine's Day, Tom
Thank
and
you.
Lori.
Thank you.
You've got the flower,
Yeah.
and you've got the vase, but how did we get that vase? We're here at the New York Urban Glass Center finding out how these master glass blowers take a molten glass and make it into a beautiful vase. So is it a vase or is it a vase?
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
Depends
but
on how much it
it looks hot. However you say it, it looks hot.
Yeah.
Great
It
stuff.
is.
All right. And also, now, if the weather and what we've got up our sleeves cooperate, we're going to do another installment of What's My Toy, the International
cool.
Toy Fair going on right here in the Flatiron District. And this is a special new chalk toy, but it's kind of a slushy, snowy day. in New York. And what are we doing? Are we trying to? Oh, we got hair blowers out there trying to
Dry
the sidewalk.
pavement?
And we'll see how. Hi,
yeah.
looks like it's working. So
While you're down there, permit.
before they're arrested, we'll see if we can get this done. What's My Toy Part 3 later today.
All right. Right now, a look at what is making headlines across the
All
country.
right.
Thanks, Tom and Lori. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jane Fergus. Here's what's happening in Breakfast Time News. Texas Senator Phil Gramm is reportedly out of the race. The Republican presidential hopeful will make an official announcement this afternoon. The decision follows his poor showings in Louisiana and Iowa. Meanwhile, President Clinton is making his way west to check out flood damage. His first stop will be in Washington State. Then he'll go on to look at flooded homes and businesses in Portland, Oregon. O.J. Simpson prosecutor Christopher Darden says allowing cameras in the courtroom for the trial of the century was a fatal mistake. Darden was addressing a group in Pittsburgh. He's on a leave of absence from the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. And finally, the artist formerly known as Prince becomes a former bachelor today. He's marrying his backup dancer, Maite, and you heard Lori talking about getting a wedding in cyberspace. Well, the wedding isn't taking place in cyberspace, but fans can be part of the reception line online. The artist launches a website today called The Dawn and is expected to make a virtual appearance there right after saying his I do's. That's a quick look at what's making the news. Now here's our grumpy old man with a look at the weather.
Let me tell you something about a hearing aid. If it's raining out like in Danville, Virginia, and you turn your head just right, you still get an earful of rain, which beats an earful of brats screaming outside, which they do whenever there's a spiky yellow ball, like out in Moab, Utah today. But it's still not something you want. Today's weather is being brought to you by Friskies. Bring out the Frisky in your cat. And we've got light snow throughout New York and New England here, and then like a tusk of rain and snow going right from Virginia up to South Dakota there. Snow in the top part of it, rain in the bottom part of it. Let's look at those high temperatures.
Oh.
Are you listening?
Yeah.
That's the weather.
Thank
Leave me
you.
alone.
You said you at the very end you didn't sound grumpy so much as just like paternal there. That's the weather. Enjoy.
A little Ed Koch slipped into it.
Hey, that's right. Yeah. How am I doing? Jim, I just want to get an IBM Big Blue, Super Blue update with Kasparov, the Russian chess champion. Didn't they do Game 3 yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know the result.
All right.
Maybe they're still playing. It
No.
was a draw.
Yeah.
It was a draw.
It was a draw.
Yeah, they were using Windows and the computer locked up.
So they've got 1.5 points each going into Game 4.
And we just want you to know, if you were listening to Jane Fergus's newscast, and we know you were, then you heard the story about Prince's reception line is going to be online. So we're going to try and log on and be a part of that reception.
idea.
Wish them the best from us.
That's right. And
Here.
now it's the Happy Hatch family.
Yeah, it sure is.
Meep, meep. Meep, meep.
The Hatches wrote us from Patterson, New Jersey. Actually, it was Jennifer who wrote us the letter saying she and her family would like to come and visit. How are you today?
Very good.
Are you okay with Bob standing beside you then?
No.
Well, thank you, Bob, standing beside her. Thank you.
Want to introduce your family to us?
Yeah.
Yes, this is my father, Tom,
Yo,
my
Tom.
mother, Abby, and my
Abby.
crazy sister,
Your
Susie.
giggling sister Susie. I met the whole family earlier. Susie has not actually spoken a word to me yet. All she does is...
Yeah. But she's good at it.
She's very good. You watch us on U.S. cable. I understand you love
like
to
that.
cook, and you hope to go to the Culinary Institute. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Let's hear it. She spoke. Would you then mind cooking the breakfast this morning, showing us what a soon-to-be culinary...
Suzanne is celebrating a little too much.
Yeah, that's right. Suzanne's happy. I don't think it's fair, Suzanne, to subject someone who hopes to go to the Culinary Institute to your version of breakfast.
I agree.
Is that all right? You don't mind doing that? Okay.
All right. We're going to take a nice family photo here, and Jim's going to tell us all about Patterson, New Jersey.
The city of Patterson was founded, I believe, by Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of the Treasury, who saw in its waterfall the potential for industry long before our Industrial Revolution. Its most famous resident is no doubt the great Lou Costello of Abbott and Costello, but it does have many other famous and infamous citizens, including this very interesting.
This poor girl.
Jen, she's not ticklish at all. That's
Not at all. Well, Tom harangues the guests. We're going to go to break. Jim, what's coming up?
Penguins and Kangaroos, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Captain Kangaroo, hockey and wisdom. So they're both teeth-related segments. Yeah.
Could be either or. Spencer.
Thank you, thank you.
What are they asking for?
Say hello to Tom.
Oh, hello, Tom Bergeron.
Hello, Spencer.
Hello there.
How are you, sir?
Fine and dandy, thank you.
Oh, good. That iceberg looks like a character.
Yeah, he is.
It's Giggling Susie the Laughing Chef. She's Susie the Laughing Chef.
I'm floating the FX day.
McDonald.
He was really hungover.
Oh, cool.
Alka-Seltzer. Oh no, he was a mess. He stayed here
He
for
doesn't
an hour and a
drink.
half.
It's 18 minutes after the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob, the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Lori and Tom.
She's Susie the Laughing Chef. Hey, she's Susie the Laughing Chef. She'll giggle her way through ham and eggs. Susie the Laughing Chef.
Yeah! Hey!
Well done.
All right, really.
You know, America might think you worked on that the whole commercial break, but he didn't.
no.
He just made it up.
Oh, I don't think anyone thought that. No. I didn't.
Listen, Mr. Blacked Out Your Teeth.
Hey, you want to go now? You want to go now? I'm ready.
Gloves off.
Before we go to Spencer with the Pittsburgh Penguins in Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania, brief update. Jillian has been sent to the Empire State Building with the Handycam
And
a
two
couple of
t-shirts.
right,
Oh,
couple
great.
of
There's
FX
stores on the
t-shirts.
way.
They are doing a whole bunch of weddings at the Empire State Building, which is apparently a tradition of them.
Tradition every year, but the thing is, they may not be doing the weddings yet, but they'll probably have it all decorated and
Oh,
booted
sure.
up already, so that they will get some video of that. And we also have Mr. Treat Williams joining us.
This is a producer. She's going to run away.
Oh, look. He brought his pet booker with
Ellen's
him.
your bodyguard today. Welcome.
Hi,
Good
Lori.
morning.
Nice
Good to see you.
We can bring her in if you
Yeah,
want.
bring your pet booker in here.
Yeah, just make sure he's happy,
Yeah.
Ellen. Is that right? Do you want Ellen here? Does that make you feel a little
No, I
less-
just wanted everybody to see that there are people behind the scenes who
that's
work. She
right.
says I'm going to run away, and I said, no, you have to see that.
She's been threatening to run away
She's
for
been taking
20
care of me
minutes.
for the last
Yeah,
30
see how
minutes.
comfortable she is with this. Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Treat is starring in Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, along with Andy Garcia.
You know, I got to tell you something. You know how some days are just really your lucky day?
Yeah.
Well, I just went in here, just before I went on, I went in to use the men's room, and I realized that my fly was wide open, you know.
That's a good thing.
And I
if you're
caught
going
that
to
just before I
Save,
came
yeah.
on.
And we
So
just
I
took
thought,
the
today is
camera
my
out of
lucky
there.
day.
That's all right.
No, it's not wide open now. It was before.
You know,
I
and
came
this
on.
answers the questions, does it take a lot to make a star happy? No. I found my fly open before I walked on TV. It's a good day.
Well, I did the whole second act of Glass Menagerie with a baby once.
Is that right?
I had a hard time living that
problem for
down.
you.
I rush out of the house sometimes too quickly. So.
Have you met Susie the Laughing Chef?
Yes.
From,
That's a good
Patterson,
laugh.
New
Madison,
Jersey.
thank you. Yeah.
Good. Canadian bacon.
Yeah. Susie laughs at that too.
Are you hungry? Susie will make you something as
All
well.
right, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead. You
No,
were
you
talking about my career.
Oh, yes. Yes. Not enough about me. Let's talk about me. Spencer Garvett in Pittsburgh, actually in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, with the Pittsburgh Penguins and their wacky mascot, Iceberg. Spencer?
These are some big penguins. Penguins, you think of these little tiny things that kind of waddle around. These guys are like, the average weight is about 200 pounds, and they're about 6'2" is the average. So there's some big guys with sticks on ice. Not my sport. But we're going to meet some of these players and find out what they do. This is Joe Dietzich, who's one of the players. An important thing about hockey is the stick. So what's so special about the stick, and what do you do to prepare it?
Well, what I do before every game is I take 3 sticks off the rack, and first thing I do is I measure it, where at height I like it, then I shave it, I cut it, and I curve it. So I'll take you kind of through what I do before every game.
Go right ahead. Now, the stick is important. How many sticks do you go through a game? Just one usually?
Probably 2 or 3 every game.
Really? Is that because you crack one over some guy's head or not?
Not usually, but sometimes what happens is stick gets
That's it,
whippy,
Spencer, make it
and you want to get a stiffer shaft so you can shoot the puck harder and you can shoot it more accurately that way. So this is what I do here is I pull this off.
How many sticks do you go through in a season, do you think?
Well, I'd say anywhere between 7 or 8 dozen sticks a year, probably. Maybe.
Does the coach get on you at all? If you use too many sticks, is there a quota or not?
No, not really. Someone like Mario, uses a lot more sticks, but he gives a lot of his away, so, because he's famous and people want to, have an autographed Mario Lemieux stick. So, but for me, it's a little different story. So
you'll sand this down, and then also the important part is the actual curve, and there's certain regulations with the curve as well, aren't there?
you can't have more than like a half-inch curve on your stick at any time. So what I do is I heat this up just the way I like it. Get the flame going a little bigger here.
Please light. Anyway, he curves it, gets it to the shape he wants, measures it to make sure that it's at the right level, and then he'll put it under a cold shower just so it holds that shape. Behave, Jim, and because it's very important. You guys. This is EJ, who's the head coach. He's been coaching for about 3 years in his second stint. How's the season going so far?
Well, so far it's been excellent. I think, I don't think anybody projected the start we'd have right now, and as long as we keep the big guys healthy, guys like Lemieux, Yager, Francis, and I think we're in pretty good shape.
I just want to say that EJ's coached over 500 games. He's had the most winningest season for the Penguins, 184 wins, and also he's won over 250 games in his career as well. What are we going to be doing in practice today?
Well, today we're playing Winnipeg coming up, so we're going to work on our power play a little bit. Our power play has sort of been non-existent the last couple of games, so we'll work on special teams this morning.
Spencer?
Good. We'll join you later on the ice. Thanks. Yes, sir.
I'm just curious to know if we're going to employ the technological marvels of the Fox network to help us keep an eye on the rapidly traveling puck today.
Well, we have a special treat that will have to be revealed later.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
A breakfast time exclusive in terms of that. Now, part of the game is, of course, Iceberg, who actually can't talk to us, but he's in charge of getting the crowds absolutely wild, as you can see.
Yeah, great turnout.
And actually, believe it or not, Iceberg, the person who's in Iceberg, doesn't really like birds. He had like a childhood traumatic experience, so it's kind of awkward that he's a bird promoting people. I need to speak to this fan. What's your name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. And why are you such a big fan of the Penguins?
My kids like to skate. They like them.
Really? What do you like about the Penguins?
Nothing.
Yeah. No pressure.
No, it's Iceberg that can't talk.
That's okay. All right. So the fans are. Oh wait, we got someone here. What do you think about the Penguins? Okay. The crowds are going wild. My goodness. Anyway, the fans are very loyal. They're having their best season they've had in a while. And later on, we'll be going out on the ice and we'll be learning some of the moves from some of these large guys with sticks.
All right, the Pittsburgh Penguins. And those of you who are concerned that you might not be able to follow the puck, don't worry. We, of course, are the cable network from Fox. And we've got that one taken care of. Coming up in the next hour. Thanks, Spencer.
Now, treat. When I say Captain Kangaroo, what's the first thing that comes into your head?
Clarabelle.
That's right.
Wow,
Bob Keeshan
yeah.
was Clarabelle the Clown on Howdy Doody.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
I was
I
on
don't even know who
Howdy
Clarabelle is.
Whoa.
Right.
You were on Howdy Doody?
I was on Howdy Doody when I was 5 years old. I was in the peanut gallery.
Really?
Oh, that's so great.
But it was a great letdown. Wires and
Oh,
cameras.
yeah. Is
and
it true
all
that they swore and smoked cigars when the
Oh, Clarabelle
commercials
would take his head off and have a cigarette.
Oh, no.
Yeah, hate that.
Traumatic, terrible.
Yeah, Howdy used to knock back a brew every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't stiff already, right?
Well, anyway,
Wouldn't I?
Bob Keeshan is with us every day with an inspirational thought of wisdom.
Bob Keeshan
And
is?
would you two stop?
How about this one? The world's a nettle. Disturb it, it stings. Grasp it firmly, it stings not. What?
Say what you just said out loud.
No, I can't.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Is he
come on.
here in the room?
No.
I didn't know Bob Keeshan was still alive. I thought that. I'm glad to see that he is.
We'll run some tests.
Oh, that proved it?
Bob, I'm sorry. You look great. You look great. You look
You know
fantastic.
what? We got to go to break because this is just becoming really ugly.
Yeah, hurry
here.
up.
We've got treat.
I'm embarrassed for both of us.
Me too.
Yeah, your coffee just came out of your nose. Okay.
It was Diet Pepsi. Carbonation hurts.
We will be back, Jim. What's
Thinking
coming up?
of giving a diamond on St. Valentine's Day? Check out the Earth's crust. The diamonds below on Breakfast Time. Good. It's 29 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom Laurie, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Laurie.
Jim, what's the one question that's been plaguing mankind for all eternity?
Why?
Okay, besides why?
Great tasting or less filling?
Yeah, great tasting. And does the Earth's crust recycle itself?
Wow,
Big burning question. And actually the answer to that, or what we hope is the answer, has been found recently in the discovery of a single flawed diamond. This is the one that Carol Channing gave me. It's the closest I could come today. But Phil Kogan is going to tell us exactly what this diamond has meant to the finding that the Earth's crust really does get recycled over billions of years. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. It's a burning question, isn't it? It's something I'm sure you've asked yourself many
Plagued
times.
me. For you Tree? Has it plagued you?
In fact,
I
woke up this morning and thought,
Think
I need
about
to
it.
know how diamonds are. Well, I will explain it to you.
Okay.
Now, in order to understand the significance of this diamond, I just want to explain to you what crustal recycling is. Now, if you have a look on the front here, you'll see that we have the continental crust and we have the ocean crust. And for many years, we've known, or we've realized that the plates are moving. If you have a look at Africa, you can see that the shape of Africa right here and the shape of South America, at one time they believed that these two plates were joined together. So we've known that the plates are moving. But this crustal recycling, where the two plates are forced together like this, there's a lot of pressure. And as they're pushing against each other like this, one has to give way and one will slide underneath another. So that's why we've represented this right here. So if you imagine that there's a lot of pressure coming from both plates here, and this is the surface of the ocean plate, it's forced against the continental crust here, and as it's being forced down into the interior of the Earth. And obviously down in the interior of the Earth there's a lot of heat, which we have represented there, and there is a lot of pressure. You can see that clamp that we have right there. And with this heat and pressure, this crustal material goes down, it's all melted up, and then it comes out with volcanoes like this. So the theory is that the material that started on this plate goes down into the Earth and then is spewed back up with this volcano, comes back onto the surface again.
So if we knew this, how did we wonder if it gets recycled?
Well, there was no conclusive...
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. There was no conclusive proof, and that is because when this material starts at the surface and then goes down, it gets melted and it's exposed to such heat and pressure, it gets completely transformed from its original material. We have no idea what it originally was. But this flawed diamond is the key. And in order to explain to you the significance of that, I'm going to explain to you how a diamond is formed. Diamonds contain...
Okay. Go slow.
Superman takes the coal and squeezes it real hard.
Tom, you got it right. That's absolutely right.
Go slow. First.
I will go slow. Carbon material is in diamonds, of course,
Yes.
right? Diamonds are made of carbon. Where does that carbon come from? Well, the theory is that plants and animals, which contain carbon, are on the surface. Through subduction, through this recycling, these plants and animals get forced down into the earth. And as they go down in there, we'll throw our plants and animals away
What
now.
happens to the cabin?
They get beaten up like these eggs, right?
So they break down, their forms break down.
Absolutely, and we have no idea what they are anymore. And they're going down into the earth. There's all this heat, there's all this pressure. They get transformed. They go down into the earth right here, and then that's where they are formed into diamonds. Now these diamonds, which are down way down, are then spewed back up via volcanoes and come up onto the surface again.
Right.
Now, let me just explain to you the significance of this flawed diamond.
Okay, they found this flawed diamond. Where did they find it? Do we know?
Well, we know...
In Larry Fortensky's safe.
No kidding.
It was in South Africa.
Yay!
This flawed diamond contained a material called starolite. Okay?
Uh-huh.
That was at the core of the diamond. We know that starolite is a material that we can find on the surface of the Earth. Now, for the first time, this starolite has made the journey from the surface. It was protected, as it was made into a gun, it was protected by materials. It went all the way down into the Earth.
Boy, are my facets tired.
It became part of a diamond.
Why didn't it get munched up in subduction?
Because it was protected by other materials. It was protected by garnet. As it's going down, it was formed and it was protected. It had a shield around it. Normally it gets melted down and it becomes part of the diamond or whatever, but it was protected and it attached itself to a diamond and it went down, and this same material, the starolite, went all the way down, some 300 miles down, and then was spewed back up by the volcano. And we know that this material comes from the surface, so we know...
So it could not have originated down there, so you know that everything is going in a cyclical motion, but it takes
helps to
something
prove
like
the theory.
billions of years.
Billions of years. It helps us prove the theory that, in fact, this material starts here,
How does it
goes
get
down,
to Fortunoffs?
and then comes
Phil Kogan telling us how the Earth's crust recycles itself over billions of years.
Yeah. Yay, Kiwi boy.
Well, we think. Anyway.
Love that cabin.
We've got the Prince website up. This is, as you can see, Prince.
Come on over here.
Under
Prince got married today.
construction.
We got his
I think this
website.
is
Prince
its
got married?
official debut day today. New Gold Nation Interactive. Can you show? Can we clear up the address? It's a pretty long one. I don't know how clear that is on your screen, but
Couldn't read it.
Yeah. Right now, not much happening. It just says that it's under construction. I don't see anything yet about his his wedding on here, but we'll keep you posted on that. Well, William, don't be bashful. William Corbin, our Pentium producer, yes?
From what I've been able to find out, you'll be able to reach it at www.thedawn.com. But it's still in beta. It doesn't look like it's open yet.
Okay.
And
it's supposed to open today.
Today.
Yeah, it's supposed to open today around noon, I think.
The artist formerly known as
Still
Prince is getting married today, and the theory is you can log on and be a part of his wedding receiving line.
On the website formerly known as.
It's under the heading of "I have no life, so I'll just be here all day," and it starts and it's www.
I found it once at www.thedawn.com.
Does that symbol that he's drawn on his cheek have a? Is there a word for it or a name for his
Stupid,
new?
actually.
It's a symbol for it's a male and female, right?
There's an Ankh in there, too.
So in the dictionary, you see that now it's going to say the artist formerly known as Prince. That would be the description of that sign.
Yeah.
Just had to get that clear.
All right, so that opens at noon Eastern. You might want to check that out on the World Wide Web. Right now, we're going to check out some of today's top stories.
And wish him a quick congratulations on his wedding. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jane Fergus. Here's what's happening in Breakfast Time News. In Michigan, the trial of so-called suicide doctor Jack Kevorkian will proceed, but lawyers will not be able to ask potential jurors about their religious beliefs on suicide. Lawyers for Kevorkian had used religious questions in picking a jury that acquitted him of similar charges 2 years ago. Vice President Al Gore marks the 50th anniversary today of the nation's first general-purpose computer. He'll switch on the giant computer at the University of Pennsylvania and then give a speech on technology challenges. A new study finds that pumping up the fiber in your diet will lower your risk of heart disease. Researchers say that eating 25 to 30 grams of fiber each day reduces the risk of heart disease by 35%. And finally, Sony and Boyz II Men are forming a new label called Stone Creek Recordings to develop new artists. Boyz II Men will still record with their old label, though, Motown Records. That's a quick look at what's making the headlines. Now a Valentine's Day forecast from our grumpy old man.
So what are they doing in hospitals now? Taking the toast outside in the rain of Parsons, Tennessee? Or leaving the Kool-Aid out in the spiky yellow ball of Fort Myers, Florida, so that's as warm as Florida? We're old, but this is the age of super polygrip. We've got a dusting of snow in New York and New England, and then like a boomerang, it goes right up to from Tennessee and Maryland, right up into South Dakota. Snow in the top of it, rain in the bottom of it. Spiky yellows in the west. Let's look at those high temperatures. Chew on these. That's the weather.
Thank you, Grumpy Guy. We'll be back with more of the Breakfast Time Valentine's Day show. What's coming up?
Using your psychic powers to catch Mr. Right. Quieter than shotguns. Neater than super glue. The mind-love connection. It's 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer. And here's Tom, Lori, Treat Williams, and I'm guessing somewhere.
He's around.
Yeah,
There he is.
I'm over here, dude.
The Toothless Wonder.
That's right.
And the Cashmere Valentine Vixen.
You have a penchant for
I
giving
like
people
Cashmere.
nicknames.
Well, I do. You know, I do.
I know.
Yeah, I give people nicknames all the time. That's because I can't remember their real names.
Do you have a nickname for Jim?
Do I have a nickname for Jim? Yeah, until we're pay-per-view, you're not going to hear it.
His nickname is Alleged.
I've gone through life never needing a nickname.
Is that right?
Treat? Of course
It's
not.
just fine for me.
I'll give you one before the day.
Oh, never mind. Jim, what's the word of the day?
Well, I have a question. What is the best thing about love?
Oh, that kind of fluttery feeling in the
Yeah.
chest cavity.
You lose a lot of weight when you're in love.
Yeah.
Anybody else? You see, except Lori's was pretty specific, but Tom's proves that love, as good as it is somewhat, Maestro, ineffable.
Yeah, ineffable.
And it means it's incapable of being expressed in words. It is actually indescribable. It's very, very hard to pin down. And it's the word of the day.
All right, now, and we have a segment now that sort of underscores that ineffable quality of love.
Sure does.
Because we have with us the interestingly billed New Age consumer expert, Brian Seth Hurst. And what Brian's going to do for us now is show us how we can involve ourselves with psychic seduction. If we're trying to draw that special person closer to us, you've got the tools, right?
Well,
Brian?
what I'm throwing on here is a little incense. This is
Okay.
love incense. All this stuff's available at your local occult or magic store.
Oh, dear.
It's really important. Yes, careful when you buy it.
Yeah, spells are us.
It's really important to create the right atmosphere. I missed, what did you say?
Spells are us. Pay attention.
Yes,
Doc.
well, actually, I think you need to pay attention because you're too old to be single, Bob, so pay close attention. These are ritual candles, and what you do is you coat them with
Don't
a
mess with them,
special...
they'll turn you into a frog.
That would be an improvement.
This is a special love oil. You coat these candles, you know, you pick your gender carefully. You
Now
only
this-
burn one of them.
Brian, this smell is going to bring people to you.
Actually, yes. The smell of roses and rose quartz, anything rose, is the color of unconditional love.
All right.
And what we want to do is use the mind and the power of the mind, just like positive thinking, to create love in our lives.
Now, if by the time the breasts and midsection are burned, if you haven't got anybody, do you give up?
Well, you either contact your local foot fetishist. No, you don't.
Okay.
You don't give up. That's the thing. You don't give up. And we're going to make a list. We're going to talk about making a list, but your thinking is very important, how you think. So if you're insecure or desperate or lonely, you can't really do this. You have to clear all your fears out and know that you can bring love into your life.
Now, is this for somebody who does not have a special someone, or if you already have somebody in mind and you're fairly
Very good
sure of their...
question.
Okay.
So wait a minute,
Very
you
good
go through
question.
7 years of therapy and then you do this?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, good. I just had to
You
get that
cannot, according to the laws of karma, you cannot manipulate a person specifically. So if I wanted to bring Lori into my life and I was in love with Lori, I can't say, and I'm bringing Lori, this is causing Lori to love me, because that is manipulating another person. Now you can say,
Yeah, we
Lori
wouldn't
or
want to do
someone
that,
like
would we?
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Lori or someone like Lori, but what you're doing is you're meditating for everyone's highest good. So if Lori has the qualities that you seek, which are already present in yourself, that's
Right.
what you admire
Okay,
someone.
all
So
right.
you're not seeking someone to complete your life, you're seeking them to complement your life. But
All
you
right.
can't manipulate
So
another
just to
person.
recap where we are now, you light the candles, we have the incense going.
Right, you say a little incantation, which is
Right.
I'm sending rainbows of love from my heart to your heart. I know you're on your way, but you have to be specific.
So you have to quote a Neil Diamond song?
You have to be, actually, whatever
Every
works,
blue jeans.
whatever works,
Yeah.
you have to be specific about what you want. We're going to talk about that.
Okay, let's
about
get right
making
to
a
that,
list.
because we're...
Okay,
I wanna stop you
so
up
the
there.
qualities, everybody knows what their physical type is,
Right.
you know, tall, dark, and handsome, petite, whatever. And so you want to be specific about what your physical type is. Emotionally, do you want them to be compassionate? Do you want them to be caring? Do you want them to be communicative? You sit down and you make a list. I made a little book. This is my wish
All right,
list.
so let's, in the interest of time, because we're running out of it rapidly, you do that, you make the list, and then maybe dim the
Meditate.
lights and meditate.
And
on that.
meditate. And I'm here to tell you it works. See this? It works. Although,
Okay. Now, when should you expect results, or your
Well, you know,
incantation cheerfully refunded?
the thing is that you want to keep up doing it. Most people, after they do affirmations, they go, oh, I've been doing it 2 weeks and love is not in my life.
Yeah.
You have to have faith. And that's what it's about, that the perfect person is somewhere out there for you, and this helps them come. the mind is very important. How
Well,
you think is what you
thinking
create.
positively, I think,
exactly.
is what underscores
But
all of
ritual is very old and very, you know, ritual's been used for years to create things. Once you light a candle, you're sending your thoughts out into space.
All right, Brian, good tips for the people who know what they want but just haven't met it yet. Brian, thanks a lot.
Pleasure.
Psychic seduction.
All right. Sounds good to me. Treat Williams joining us. Please let's give an official welcome. You want to take a walk with me?
Sure.
All right. Things to do in Denver when you're dead.
Yeah.
Is your name your new movie? Also in Hair, Prince in the City, Once Upon a Time in America, and a bunch of other films.
Yep.
You want to sit here?
Yep.
Or over here? Do you want to take? What do you want, Paul?
Zebra chairs.
Oh, the zebra chairs.
I had a request not to go on the bench. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not from me. Was that from me? Oh, I said I wanted to sit in a chair. That's right.
Now, the interesting premise to this movie, it's a gangster movie set in Denver.
Yep.
And I had no idea there were gangsters in Denver. Is
Well,
that
there
just
aren't.
me,
That's
or?
the point. I think
Oh, is
that's
it-
the point.
It's like
It's sort of this no man's land for gangsters. So that I mean, for gangsters to be in Denver is already a bad start for them. You know, and I think that's what the point of why Scott said it.
Yeah.
In Denver.
Yeah. And you play Critical Bill.
Critical Bill.
This guy teetering on the verge of insanity.
Oh, I don't think he's teetering. I think he's taking the
Think
big
he's-
plunge. I think from the scene you see, you'll notice that he might be just a little bit like somebody you wouldn't want to have to dinner too often.
Yeah, no kidding. Actually, we'll take a look at a scene right now. I think it's you and Christopher Walken.
No, Andy Garcia?
Oh, is it Eddie Garcia? I'm sorry.
I hope so.
Okay.
Because I don't have any scenes with Chris, so I'll be really surprised.
This was an outtake, actually.
Ah!
No, you and Andy Garcia. Let's take a look.
Okay.
I would really like to be one. I would like to be one of the cops, Jimmy. I really want to be one of the cops, Jimmy. Damn it, Jimmy. I'm 41 years old and they still call me Critical Bill. You know, I mean, I have really changed, man. How do you think that makes me feel?
Billy, you're beating up on corpses, Bill.
Well, that's the point, Jimmy. That's the thing, man. Doing that with them bodies. I mean, that keeps my powder dry.
Billy.
It keeps my powder
Billy.
dry. It keeps my powder dry, Jimmy. Listen to me. I haven't touched a live person in years. Not since I started that exercise program.
Nice do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We worked hard at that.
Now, you're talking about you beat up dead people. You work in a mortuary.
Yeah. And, you know, I figured that, as my character says, when Andy Garcia says, you're beating up on dead bodies, I say, yes, well, it doesn't bother them very much. So.
And you haven't hit a live person
That's
since you
right.
started this program.
That's right. I'm
What were
told-
you really hitting when you were...
A person.
No.
Yes, a stunt guy.
Seriously?
We put a little pad on, we hung him from a chain, and I wailed on him for about a half a day.
Oh,
Very
man.
cooperative guy. Yeah.
No grunts, no groans from him, nothing?
No, in fact, we worked out this thing where his feet moved a little bit every time.
See the little toe tag going.
Yeah, nice.
Lovely, yeah.
You're getting so much incredible critical acclaim for this, even though he's such a despicable guy, but you managed to make people like him somehow.
Well, you know, actually, Scott, it's Scott. You know, it's all in the writing. And Scott wrote this wonderful character,
writing.
and there was always humor in this. It's very dark and black, but very funny. And I always was very protective, like almost for a child, of the humor, because I knew that the humor would be the salvaging part of this character. So
that and the blue eyes will do it.
we worked really hard on making sure that whatever worked in terms of humor, and there's an innocence about him that makes somehow his behavior acceptable.
Yeah.
You know. And Scott's writing is great because he really only gets violent when he's really provoked like an animal. He has to be really provoked, and then when he goes ballistic. So it's fun.
It's in theaters right now, and you can check it out. And you are also in something that is, I think, premiering this Saturday, The Late Shift.
Yeah.
The story that HBO did, the Letterman-Leno Wars.
Yeah, I saw it. It's great. I saw it 2 nights ago, and it was just great.
Was it really? Now, what kind of risk is involved for an actor? You played Michael Ovitz
Yeah.
in this, and this is a pretty controversial subject. I'm sure
Well,
Leno and Letterman aren't overly thrilled
You
about
know,
it.
10 years ago, I was offered Streetcar Named Desire, and they had never done a production. I mean, Alec Baldwin's done it since, but no one had ever done it since Brando did it. And
Yeah.
Brando just put this mark on it. And it's like when I said that I would do that and I did it, it was like I was home free. You know, I've never worried about that sort of thing. I think an actor's job is to take parts that are good and do them and see where the chips may fall.
Yeah. How do you think the public's going to react to this? Do you think they're going to love
Denver?
it?
Well, I have to be very honest. I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think it's for my mom and dad. You know, I think
Yeah.
this is a movie for really sophisticated film goers who really love good movies. This is a terrific film.
Necrophiliacs give it 2 thumbs
Two
up.
thumbs up.
or whatever else goes up. But I mean, I think it's a great film, and I think it's very, very funny, and I'm really behind it. I don't always say that about films I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I try and hide when they're doing publicity, but I love this thing.
It's
That's
got
why
great
I'm
buzz. It really does. And what about Late Shift? Do you think that's for everyone?
Oh yeah, definitely. Late shift is like, you know, we don't have royalty, so anything that's about Hollywood is sort of like our Shakespeare. You know, it's about the behind the scenes. The king has abdicated, Johnny Carson, and these two loyal subjects, Letterman and Leno, want the throne.
Sure.
And the piece is all about all the people behind them, you know, maneuvering to get one of those guys the job.
Is this the Nielsen I see before me?
What? Yeah.
That was the puppet.
Oh, there you are.
Well, good luck with both of them.
Thanks.
Certainly, things to do in Denver, in theaters now, and HBO will be running Late Shift, I believe, this Saturday.
Saturday on the 24th. Yeah.
On the 24th.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks for having
nice
me.
to have you. A treat, Williams.
Half an hour ago, we sent Jillian Hamilton to the Empire State Building, where weddings are going on all day today in honor of Valentine's Day. Wait till you see who she's come back with when we come back in a moment.
You're from...
You can't bend it, fold it,
right?
spindle it, or mutilate it, but you can blow it. Glass and glass blowing coming up on Breakfast Time.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Ayo. How are you?
Good. Nice and toasty.
Good. She's one of the...
It's 6 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom, Lori, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I am the announcer, and here's Lori, Tom, Bob, and Treat Williams.
That's right. Let's bring in first by herself, if we could, our own road warrior, Jillian Hamilton. Jill, come in by yourself first. All right, come on in here, Jill. We sent Jillian over to the Empire State Building. They're having marriage ceremonies all day there in honor of Valentine's Day. All right, Jill, tell us what happened when you went over there.
Well, it was actually really pretty easy. These people were so nice. Everyone's really excited because they're getting married. So we just went into the 80th floor of the Empire State Building, and there were all these couples and people crying, and they just gotten married, so it was really exciting. And then I saw this one woman in a beautiful white dress with gold trim, and she was very vivacious and very talkative. So I said, looks like I can approach her. And I said, you know, I'm from Breakfast Time. They said, Breakfast Time? We love Tom and Lori! And that's what it. They know you guys, and they love Bob, and they love personal
They
effects.
love Treat, at least.
Apparently, yes. There's one of the family members that loves Treat, and so I didn't even need to sell it. They just said Tom and Lori were there.
So they were married how long ago?
They were the first people to get married, and they've been there since about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know exactly what time they got married.
Let's welcome the newlyweds, Tony and Don Ledversus, and some of their wedding party.
Can I kiss the bride? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can also
Come meet Bob. Come say hello to Bob.
I want to kiss the bride.
You never know what's going to happen.
Well, by the way, they are here when technically they should have gone to their hotel and checked out. So, noted producer and deep pockets man Paul Shavelson is going to pay any late fees accrued by the wedding party at the hotel.
Hey, late fees, Paul. Hey.
You're going to stay for the rest of the week. You guys, get comfortable. I'm going to go talk to Cassandra over here, and you're welcome to come by if you want. Can we have, in honor of Chris Jagger's appearance, Chris Jagger, of course, Mick Jagger's brother, has his first album out in 19 years. It's an album inspired by Zydeco music. It's wonderful, and the third cut on it is the new unofficial theme of Mrs. Green Thumb. Hit it, Rob.
She got a green thumb. She got a green thumb. She can grow a seed with a power.
She's a psychopath.
Oh, yeah, right.
Zydeco, not psychopath.
That's right, psychopath among so many.
Let's talk. Earlier in the show, Lori and I were talking about roses and the USA Today stat about whether women prefer a dozen. I think 54% preferred a dozen, 31% like the single rose, etc. But you have rose alternatives.
I do. Well, you know, gardeners prefer things like flowers like this. And people like Lois, I know, loves to garden.
Yep.
If you, instead of those roses, which will be in a couple of days, these will last year after year after year. Yes, they do. These are hyacinths, and these will come back each year. Perhaps not so full as this, but they'll come back. These are called primroses, and these are hardy across the United States up almost to Canada. These are hardy again to Canada throughout the entire continental United States, which means that, and this is only hardy to Washington, but you can keep it as a house plant.
Okay,
later
Washington
on.
State.
Washington, yeah, D.C. actually.
DC,
it's also hardy in Washington State, however, for you up there. All right. Now, what I want to tell you about it is that what you do is when the flowers have finished, instead of just throwing them out, as people often do, right, of course, any cut flower, what you should do is take, for example, if you've gotten some of these lovely daffodils, these yellow daffodils, just cut off whatever is dead. We'll pretend that's dead.
Oh, it is
okay,
now.
it's cruel. I know.
Yeah, don't let Treat see that.
All right, you're going to cut this off, and then when your ground has thawed in the spring, you're going to, in other words, grow this on in the house. The flowers will be finished. Take it out of the pot. Now, I once had somebody on my radio show say, gee, you know, this didn't work, and they never took it out of the pot before they planted it.
By the way, since you mentioned that,
Yes.
where's your radio show?
Oh, it's upstate New York.
What's the station?
At the station WHUC, but it's not on now, so just ignore that.
No,
Just go
can't
on.
be. You're here.
That's right, it's true. I'm here now, right. Okay. Now, what you do is you then plant this, and plant it a little deeper than it would be in the pot, okay? Now, the end of this year, all these leaves will die down, but next year, they will all come back as fresh, and sometimes these flowers will last longer than some relationships. You know how that?
Tragically true, yeah.
Yes, tragically but true. These are one of my favorites. You can get a close-up of these. These are miniature irises, and they're just gorgeous. And if you put them out by your kitchen door with little pots of these, again, get them out of the pot before you plant them. Next spring, with these white primroses, next spring you'll have the same little display coming up for free.
Now, I don't want to mention names, but for people like, well, let's say Jim, who have waited a little too long to get a Valentine's Day gift.
That's
Is
right.
it too late to get flowers for most florists now?
Well, probably for Jim, if he goes by the props department after the show,
Okay.
he might get these. No, it's not too late. In fact, you can get these in Kmart and Walmart. These
good
are
point.
sold all over the country, sometimes even in supermarkets.
Oh, yeah.
And so you'll also save a lot of money on them, too.
Let's hear her theme as we thank her. I say...
Or maybe not.
Thank you. Cassandra Dan's the Sorceress of Soil. That's your nickname.
The Marquis de Sage.
Nice enough. Rose Alternative for Valentine's Day. Lori?
Tony and Don, our bride and groom, are taking a little tour of the apartment. We've got their wedding party here with us, and we're going to kick off hour number 2. Breakfast time. Stay with us.
Yes, earlier Lori told you about a wedding in Southern California conducted on the internet. The groom in one city, the bride in another, the minister in a third. But before you get too excited, remember she said it was in Southern California, the place that brought you Let's Make a Deal. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori Hibbert, Tom Bergeron, and Bob the Puppet. My name's Jim, and I'm the announcer. To say good morning, here's the bride and groom.
Yeah, that's right. We're going up to see the newlyweds, the first couple married at the Empire State Building this morning. Tony and Don versus. How you doing?
We were looking for the bedroom.
They don't have a bedroom. Oh, we got one.
We got
Pull
it.
your jets, pal.
There you go. Now, whatever prompted you to get married at the Empire State Building?
Well, we were engaged at the Eiffel Tower 2 years ago.
Is that right?
So we were thinking, kids were busting us up. Where are you going to get married? How are you going to beat that? Getting engaged at the Eiffel Tower? And I heard this contest. I said, geez, come, let me enter it. See what happens.
That's great. Where are you guys from?
We're from Cranston, Rhode Island.
See, you had that. Being from the Boston area, I know a New England accent when I hear one. So, is this turning out to be more than you expected today?
I'm speechless. I can't even.
Well, then you'll like Susie the Laughing Chef from earlier.
If you want to have breakfast, Ed, our chef, is going to cook a little something for you.
Yeah.
And we're just so glad that you could spend the rest of the day with us.
This is great. It really is.
Well,
It's
it's
wonderful.
wonderful to have this special day shared on Breakfast Time.
Yeah.
I appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
over. By the way, Susie the Laughing Chef is a member of the Hatch family visiting us from Patterson, New Jersey today, where they watch us on U.S. cable. This hour, we're going to be watching Spencer Garbett again in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And thanks to our friends at the Fox network of Puck, you can always see.
Yes.
That's right. That will be coming up. Very highly technological. A lot of technical feats being captured here today. We have Cannon McMillan High School as our fans to go on in their practice. And of course, Iceberg, our Penguin mascot, is going to be with us. And we'll be going down the ice, talking to some of the players and the coach and learning some of their moves.
All right, Spencer, what's the matter, Paul? Noted producer Paul Shavelson ran into the ballroom with a, come over here. You have that look. I know that look. Right. What's on your mind?
I forgot.
You see what we have to deal with, America?
Yeah.
Paul will be giving the keynote address at this year's Attention Deficit Disorder Convention.
It's getting worse.
I'm so happy to be here addressing this fine assembly. Wow, this podium's real wood. Let's go to Io Haynes in Brooklyn, New York. She's at Urban Glass. Hey, Io.
Hi, it's pretty hot in here, but inside, Tom, in this glory hole, if I can get it open, it's about 2,200 degrees. We're going to show you how art has gone from, the glass art has gone from craft to glass making on the media fine art circuit. This piece of color here is going to be added to the glass to show you this beautiful yellow golden glass color.
Wow.
All right, Io, we'll get back to you in just a few moments with that. And also, Treat Williams is here with us. As I mentioned, Chris Jagger is going to be stopping by his latest album, first one in 19 years, Rock the Zydeco.
Looking forward to that. Dr. Fred Pescatore is going to talk to us about heartburn. And we are also going to learn from Patricia Moreno how you and your loved one can do a little yoga for two.
Oh, gee,
Can't wait for that.
Can we, you want to do this?
Yeah, this will be fun. Brian Seth Hurst is here. He's a psychic, really, among other things.
Psychic and New Age consumer expert.
New Age consumer expert, and if you want, he'll give you guys a little reading about the future of your marriage. What do you think?
Excellent.
We didn't ask Brian about this. Brian, is that okay?
Brian,
with
you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, he's up.
Yes?
Fine.
Okay.
Why don't you go down to the bedroom and meet up with Brian. I don't know if you saw it on your
Don't
screen.
leave those two alone for a minute, though.
Yeah, no kidding. You may not have seen it on your screen at home. We saw it here in the ballroom. Look at this chalk work going on. What's My Toy, Part 3, our celebration of the International Toy Festival going on here in New York, coming up this hour
I
as
see
well.
we've moved it inside.
Yeah,
I
it looks
think
that way,
with all the
doesn't it?
snow outside, it's a good bet. Right now, a good bet with news and Jane Fergus.
Thanks, Lori. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jane Fergus. Here's what's happening. As Tom mentioned at the top of the show, the trial of Dynasty diva Joan Collins ended in a split decision yesterday. A jury decided that Collins had finished one book for Random House, but failed to deliver on the second one called for in her contract. Collins will not have to return her advance, though, and Random House will have to pay her for the book she did finish. Attorney F. Lee Bailey claims he tricked prosecutor Christopher Darden into asking O.J. Simpson to try on the bloody gloves at his murder trial. Bailey said he baited Darden into one of the prosecution's biggest blunders after first trying on the gloves himself and realizing they would never fit Simpson. The estate of Grateful Dead guitarist Jerry Garcia has signed with the William Morris Agency. Executors say they want to make sure that Garcia-related products will continue to go on the market. The Los Angeles agent's other deceased clients include Elvis Presley. And finally, hockey fans might see the Great One play the rest of his career in a New York Rangers uniform. Wayne Gretzky will reportedly be traded from the Los Angeles Kings to the Rangers in just a few days. That's a quick look at what's making the news. Now here's the weather with our grumpy old man, Jim.
Do they expect us to use these television remote controls, or are they just being funny? The only thing they're good for is clicking off the jerks on TV who yam and yam about themselves. And don't mention the snow in Princeton, Indiana, or the spiky yellow ball in Spring Creek, Nevada, which is the only thing they can tell me that I don't already know. We got a little light dusting of snow in New York and New England, and then a tusk of precipitation going from South Dakota down through Tennessee, right through Maryland. Rain in the southern part of it, snow in the northern part of it, spiky yellows in the west. And it would be nice to know what the high temperatures are going to be. Finally, that's the weather. Leave me alone.
Thank you very much, Grumpy Man. We have to say goodbye to St. Williams, unfortunately. Yes.
What is this, trick or treat? Come on!
Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead is in a theater near you, and the HBO Late Shift will be on the 24th?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate the time.
Treat, just another 52 minutes.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you. Thank you.
Bye, Treat.
Oh, shucks.
Bye, Treat.
Bye. Bye, Bob.
What a great guy, huh?
Now we're going to head downstairs for the... Hi, Joe.
You're so lucky you have Treat.
We're going to head downstairs for the third installment of the second annual What's My Toy celebration of the International Toy Festival. What's up today, Tom?
Well, tell Treat to stop on down here in our makeshift lounge for some lovely parting gifts. Because as the International Toy Festival goes on right here in the Flatiron District, our neighborhood, we welcome Mark Abramson from Catico Toys. Yes. And Mark, we tried to do this out on the sidewalk, but because of the weather conditions, it's been snowing since early this morning. It's been difficult. Wow. This is the Super Spray Chalk, and you will have 60 seconds, that's the way this works, to tell us exactly how this works. And we start the clock now. Okay. Take it.
Catico is the premier producer of outdoor washable chalk products. All of our products are safe, non-toxic, and of course, wash away except inside in your basement. Some of the products we have in the line, one of them is called Super Spray Chalk. Simply what you do is you spray it on the ground. It's a liquid form of actual chalk. When it dries, it actually feels like chalk. Some of the premier chalks we have in the line are the Extreme Tricolor Chalk. It's actually 3 layers of chalk. We have our Mega Bright Chalk, which is 3 times the pigment. We have Glow in the Dark, so you can play with the chalk at dusk. And we also have Marble Chalk, which are 2 colors swirled together. We also have some tools that we can use with these
20
chalks.
seconds.
One's called a chalk smudger, which actually fills in large areas quickly. We also have a chalk writer, which works like a mechanical pencil. All you do is you lock it in place and you can draw. Look at all the fun they're having with them. We also have color change chalk. Simply what you do with this is draw with it on the ground, and you can actually change the color of the design. Wow. Actually, one of the things we're doing with this product line is we're donating the percentage of sales to the American Humane
Too late. No, we'll never know where that money's going. No, go ahead. You tell
Actually, we're donating percentage of sales to the American Humane Association in concert with Be Kind to Animals Week.
All right,
and on
Mark,
this special day...
You're out of town. Sorry, you had
Happy
60.
Valentine's Day to my wife.
Oh, all
that
right.
would be nice, you know that.
Can't be that much of a hard butt. Okay. Is it Debbie?
Her name
Come
is
over
Debbie.
here. Get a shot of Debbie. Over there. Lovely sentiment. And you saved that for after the 60 seconds, right? See, Debbie, he took care of all the salesmanship first, and then he wove in the... Nice job, though. And by the way, might I say, nice pinch hitting by you guys, given the weather conditions outside.
We thank you.
And good artwork by everybody assembled here. The Breakfast Time crew doing some fine stuff here.
Yeah. Great bunch of vandals.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll put them to work on some passing buses soon. Third day of our What's My Toy. How about a hand for Mark Abramson from Catico Toys. Lori?
Thank you very much. We have a little more show on the way, and Jim's going to tell you all about it.
Yogi Berra said you can't think and hit at the same time, but Patricia says you can think and get fit at the same time with yoga on Breakfast Time.
Here we go.
It's 20 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob, the puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's a very relaxed Tom and Lori.
I'll tell you, this is such, I hope it's translating for you watching at home, because we are having such a good time here today. We have the first couple married at the Empire State Building. Earlier today, there were weddings going on all through this Valentine's Day. Tony and Don led Versus, unless his beeper went off, in which case he could have left.
I don't know.
I don't know. We got some of the wedding party over here, Mom and Dad, so it's just a real treat. Treat Williams,
I don't know
actually.
who these two guys are, by the way, but
Where
they're
are you,
here.
Bob?
These two.
I don't know, but apparently they got past security. So.
With ties and everything.
Gentlemen, who are you?
Yeah.
Some guys from Fox.
You're from Fox. You're from Fox. I think, you know what, I think the reason they're here, they're helping us with the technology that will enable you to see the puck.
Oh, yeah.
The next
That must
segment
be it.
with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But also, we
these are
have,
puck doctors.
and this is his first album in 19 years, Rock the Zydeco. And if you like Zydeco music, and if you've never
Which
heard
you
Zydeco
do.
music, you're going to love it before the hour's up.
It's great.
Chris Jagger is here with the band. Good to have you here, Chris. Real treat. Real pleasure.
Yeah.
That's all coming up.
That's all coming up. And now, poor Io Haynes. She's been in Brooklyn all morning. Road warrior extraordinaire. We are going to talk about blowing glass at Urban Glass this morning. Sorry we couldn't get to you first hour, Io.
Well, we're going to show you how molten glass, which is at the temperature of 2200 degrees, is made into an art for craft and then into fine art. We have Evan Snyderman taking a gathering of molten glass. Now, Evan, tell me what this process is like, this first stage.
Well, first right now we got our glass on the end of the pipe, and what we're trying to do is shape it and get our bubble started. This is the first stage of glass.
Now, why are you always turning it?
Well, you have to keep the pipe turning because the glass is very hot. If you stop turning, it'll just drip right off the pipe.
So when does the actual blowing take place?
Well, as soon as I get this shape, you're going to see, I'm going to try and put a little bubble into here. So
tiny bubble.
Trap the air in the pipe, and the bubble expands.
So it's actually not a real big blow, it's just a little puff.
Right, the glass is hot, so you don't have to blow very hard at all.
So now, after this step, what do we do?
Well, next we're going to go over to the bench here, and we'll show you.
Okay. Now, actually, Tom, normally I would be going back and forth, which I thought I was supposed to do, but they're telling me for safety reasons that he has a lav on,
Well,
so I don't burn myself.
right.
Now, Evan, what tool are you using here to shape this?
This tool is called the Jax. This is a tool we use for shaping and cutting.
Okay.
We make these lines. The glass is hot, so I can just crease the glass.
Now, Evan, is it true that these tools have been used for 2,000 years? They haven't changed much, have they?
No, the tools are pretty much the same. All that's changed is the way that we fire the glass. The furnaces, which are now run on gas and forced air.
Okay. Now, you're still continuing to turn. Do you, at this point, blow into it at all? Oh,
Yes,
there
right
you
now
go.
I have my partner Zesty here giving me a puff.
Zesty.
To get this thing shaped.
Now, what about what are you using here to hold it?
I'm
Seems like it would
using
be pretty
wet
hot.
newspaper. This is something we use for shaping.
So the ash won't get molten onto there?
Right. The glass,
Okay.
the glass is very clear, doesn't stick.
Now, for the process of time, now, if we were to, say, put this in the oven, will it be finished, or what's the finished product like?
Well,
here it is.
here we have. Well, we have a vase
Oh, that's
that we
gorgeous.
made earlier. So this is pretty much ready to be put away.
Okay.
So I'm just going to finish this up.
Now, is this
straighten it up.
color the color it will be, or is it still the molten color from the
This
heat?
is actually a very bright yellow, similar to what you see on the floor there. But right now it looks kind of orange. So this has just got to cool overnight. We're going to put this in what's called an annealer.
An annealer.
And this will be ready tomorrow.
And the annealer isn't really a cooler. It's still 900 degrees, isn't it?
It's an oven, actually.
Okay. Well, we're going to show you how it's gone from a craft
All right,
to
let's put this away.
something this is called fine art. It's now displayed in museums. And this is Zesty Myers.
Yeah.
Zesty, tell me, how did you come up with this idea of this light bulb?
Just having a good idea.
Now, what was the process like? How long did it take you?
Physical time to make this, about a half hour, 45 minutes.
Now, how much would something like this go for? I mean, it looks like it's pretty expensive.
$1,200.
So don't drop it. You break it, you buy it. And I can't afford it. Now, okay, now, how did you come up with this idea?
All right, I like using glass for the transparency of it instead of using it for the pretty colors, and to use it as a magnifying glass or a demagnifier.
What's the process? Did you just sketch it out at first, or what?
I normally sketch with words and come up with an idea, like I wanted to do something with eggs, and that's what's inside this piece, and then...
So it started out in a book that you were writing words down, and it came into this kind of form?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's beautiful. See, Tom and Laurie, it's just gorgeous. It's gone for 2,000 years from something that was used just for eating and drinking, but now it's gone from craft to fine arts. And maybe we can bring something back for our newlywed couple there.
Great idea, Io.
Yeah, that is a nice idea. Thanks. Io is at Urban Glass in Brooklyn, New York. It's amazing. It's been around for thousands of years.
I love watching
really
the
doesn't
molten stuff being formed and shaped, and sort of what Jane does when she's preparing a newscast.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
That would be your cue.
Yeah.
White hot news right off the presses. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jane Fergus. Here's what's happening in Breakfast Time headlines. Bell Atlantic is the first baby Bell to try to make a long-distance connection on its own. Just a few days after new telecommunications regulations became law, the regional phone company has asked to offer long-distance service in 5 states. Yale University is stirring up some controversy over Christopher Columbus. Researchers now believe that a medieval map, which was once thought to be a forgery, really does prove that Columbus was not the first European to reach America. But there are still some scholars who say the map is just a clever fake. No fake jewelry at New York City's famous Tavern on the Green tonight. The restaurant will hand out Cracker Jack boxes to every woman who walks in between 7 and 10 p.m. tonight, and they don't even have to eat there. Hidden in one of the boxes will be a 3.5-carat sapphire ring, which the lucky lady will get to keep. If flowers are more your style on this Valentine's Day, you better watch out which ones you're sending. According to the book, The Language of Flowers, red roses may mean love, but yellow roses can symbolize feelings of jealousy. Begonias can mean beware, and if you really don't like someone, send them orange lilies. That's a quick look at what's making the news. Now here's the guy who's probably sending out a bunch of orange lilies, our grumpy old weatherman.
You know, no matter what the weather is like, it doesn't stop the kids from coming home when they need something. It snows in Sac City, Iowa. Can I borrow some money? There's a spiky yellow ball in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Ding dong, can we drop the kids off for a month? So you're not safe with the spiky yellow balls in the West. You're not safe in New England and New York where there's a dusting of snow, or in this scimitar of precipitation going from Maryland through Tennessee right up into South Dakota. Snow in the top of it, rain in the bottom. And take these high temperatures back home with you. That's the weather. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. All right. We're going to rock the Zydeco with Chris Jagger in just a couple of moments. Stay right there.
Laissez le bon temps rouler. Rock the Zydeco coming up on Breakfast Time.
We need you to play a little bit here.
But I mean, you can do it on mics.
Excuse me?
Mics.
Right on you.
What guitars?
Yeah, just it'll sound natural. It's a Sennheiser Omni mic. We have a totally unplugged sound here. That's why we want to do the sound check now. We're here in the essay. We'll make whatever adjustments we need to make.
All right.
Okay, so let's just as fast as we can.
It'll also pump out through the PA system.
Yeah, we're sit down. Check it out. The keyboard player singing.
Hey, we want to go? What are we doing? Oh, yeah. One. We ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. She's out in the spinny, the rake and a broom, gathering her thoughts and laying glue. She's an earthbound daughter of Mother Nature's son. She's a Yankee diddle married to an Englishman. Got a green thumb, got a green thumb, yeah. She can grow a seed with the power of the sun. She got a green thumb, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, needs to be a bit faster.
Very sweet.
Spinning with a rake and a broom.
Yeah, it's like it's a mic.
All right, we're going to roll the piano around.
So they're going to do the interview next, and then you'll put them on.
All right, straight up. Where are we moving to? Right. Good.
It's 28 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Tom and Lori.
Thank you, Jim. I love Zydeco music, so this was a real treat this morning listening to Rock the Zydeco, Chris Jagger's latest CD. Chris Jagger, a guy who said, you know, every 19 years, what the hell, put out an album. And we're going to show, before we officially meet Chris and the band, a bit of a clip from the video of what is sort of, given the other songs, an atypical tune on Rock the Zydeco. Lhasa Town, and it sings about and gives you a visual sense of injustices in Tibet. Let's take a look.
They came from the east, they came from the west, from the Kashmir lakes and the Asian steppes. They said their prayers and kissed the ground, and they headed down to Lhasa Town, to Lhasa Town, to Lhasa Town. It's cold and dry and 2 miles down, but you won't see the Dalai Lama around if you're heading down to Lhasa Town.
Please welcome Chris Jagger. Chris, how are you? Want to introduce everybody?
Yeah, it's Charlie Hart on the fiddle here.
Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Camille Khan.
Hey.
Welcome.
Bass, but he's not playing bass. Ed Dean on the guitario.
Yeah.
Malcolm on the Malcolm Mortimer.
Yeah, Malcolm.
And young Ben Waters on the piano.
Hello, young Ben. How are you? Good to have you here. Spent 6 months studying singing in the Himalayas, did you?
It was a while ago, though.
Is that right? Yeah. What was that like? That intrigued me.
Well, I didn't get any formalised Western sort of singing education. My mother couldn't afford it, you know, we were so poor.
Yeah. How poor were you?
We didn't have 2 brass farthings to rub together.
Hello.
That's a joke, that was actually. But, well, not a very good one, obviously, you know. It just kind of, it was more soulful to me than all that do-re-mi stuff. Really turned me off.
Sure.
So I kind of found my own way. It's called idiosyncratic, or make the rules up as you go along.
That's not a bad way to live. What about the Zydeco choice on this album?
Yeah, well, there's snatches of it. I mean, there's a kind of theme running through the kind of Cajun sort of elements to it. There's a bit bluesy, a bit swingy. And it's a kind of about the songs rather than a specific kind of mode. We're not an out-and-out Zydeco band, but I really do like that kind of music, and we ought to promote it a little bit more in America, because it's American music, you know? Hey.
Yeah, and your brother does some backup? Nick does some backup on some of
Yeah,
that?
when we can get him up on stage. He was down at the bottom line last night, but I was joking with him. He didn't come on stage, and we had a few laughs. And I went and danced with Jerry's. Jerry was there too. I went and danced with Jerry's sister. You know.
Jerry Hall, his wife. Huh?
Yeah.
Darn, it's a fine-looking woman she is. Fine-looking woman. Sorry, I went away there for a second. I'm back, Chris.
I was going to join you in a minute.
Yeah, no kidding. Where were we? Oh, it's breakfast time. Wow. And why 19 years between CDs?
What, you mean the magic numerology?
Yeah, is that it? It's all numerology? Is it true, young Ben?
I think he's having us on, Tom.
I don't know, but I mean, someone did say to me, if you'd been doing this all the time in the interim, you'd be pretty jaded by now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I've managed to reach a sort of, you know, old age, but still be new.
Okay.
So you're a new act. I say, oh yeah, I suppose.
Sounds good. Well, yeah, this song we've been using to help introduce our own Sorceress of Soil, Cassandra Dance, whom we nickname Mrs. Green Thumbs.
All right.
It's the third cut on Rock the Zydeco, Chris Jagger.
Okay. One, 2, 3. She's out in the spinney with a rake and a broom, gathering her thoughts in the evening gloom. She's an earthbound daughter of Mother Nature's son. She's a Yankee Doodle married to an Englishman. She got a green thumb, yeah. She can grow a seed with the power of the sun. Got a green thumb, yeah. Red roses open up the sun. She can bring you honey, she can bring you cream. Got nannies in a field and a hive full of bees. She's out with the milk in the morning sun. now, but her work's just begun. She got a green thumb, yeah, she got a green thumb. She can grow a seed with the power of the sun. She got a green thumb, she got a green thumb. She's a Yankee girl married to an Englishman. Charlie, clubs, but she'll dance to the fiddle and the sound of the drum. She's got a green thumb, she's got a green thumb. She can go free with the power of the sun. She's got a green thumb, she's got a green thumb. A red, red rose is open like a tongue. Sometimes I lose her when I travel through the town. Stores and the stations, yeah, she can't be found around. But when I'm feeling lonesome and I start to sing this song, friends think I'm crazy, they start to sing along. Yeah, she got a green thumb, she got a green thumb. Yeah, she got a green thumb, she got a green thumb. She's a Yankee little married to an Englishman. She got a green thumb, she got a green thumb, yeah. She got a green thumb, she got a green thumb, yeah. Time. She got a green thumb, she got a green thumb,
Okay.
Is it going to be okay?
Is this you now?
Yeah.
You just put it there and you just say this is not good. And then
Oh, sorry. Hey. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Gwen.
How are you, darling?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm doing good.
Now I'm going to wait for you to talk to the couple, right?
Well, you know what I'll say? I'll say, yeah, we got quilts, and I'll tell a little bit about her, and I'll say, now that's coming up next on Personal FX, but also, why don't we invite Tony to stay for Personal FX and get a ring appraised?
Great.
Six, 5, 4, 3. Quiet, please.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's 19 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom Laurie, Brother Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer. This is Chris Jagger.
Yeah! Yeah! Keep going. Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
That was terrific. Thank you very much.
How about this for a wedding reception, huh?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Treat Williams kisses the bride and Chris Jagger serenades her. Not too bad. You know what comes next? Heartburn. If you're one of 10% of Americans who do get heartburn, there's things you should know. Specifically, that it may not be spicy food that's causing it. We've asked Dr. Fred Pescatore to join us, tell us what it is, why we get it, and how we can avoid it. Welcome.
Thank
you
you
for being here. What is heartburn exactly?
Heartburn. Heartburn is that burning feeling that you get in your chest. You know, it's next to your heart. That's why they call it heartburn. Some people also describe it as a gnawing sensation, a fullness after you eat, or people just excessive burping. That can be heartburn too.
Right. It can be very tricky because a lot of people who are having a heart attack think they just have heartburn.
Right.
Sometimes.
So you really have to decide whether it's heartburn or whether it's cardiac pain. But that's a completely different
Is the
topic.
pain really that similar that people be confused, or is it just denial?
Absolutely. No, the pain is exactly the same. Exactly the same because it hurts that much.
All right, so what causes it?
What causes it? Too much acid causes it. So what happens is you get acid in the acid's produced in the stomach for digestion, right? And then what is supposed to happen is that it pushes downward into the rest of the digestive tract. In heartburn, it moves in the wrong direction and it moves up into the esophagus, and that's called acid reflux, and that's the pain you get with heartburn. And there's a valve right here between the stomach and the esophagus. We'll use this as the stomach. This
Only
is
we would use a beer glass.
Our valve was created at Urban Glass in Brooklyn, New York.
And when this valve is weakened, you know, it can be caused weakened. I'll tell you a few things how it can weaken it. You get the reflux up above, and I'll have a little demonstration here.
Oh, this is the old vinegar and
See,
baking
and it comes
soda.
up. Right.
Yeah.
See, and that's what happens. That's what gives you heartburn.
Can't believe I ate the whole thing.
So things that commonly do cause heartburn.
Common things. Citric
Oranges?
fruit.
Really?
Sure. The acid, tomatoes.
Wow.
Want to stay away from
back
that?
up.
Anything with
man.
Don't eat that pizza.
Yeah.
Anything with caffeine in it.
Really?
Chocolate, colas, tea. Common things like aspirin. Aspirin can cause it as well.
Unless you have a full stomach, it's lethal to take it,
Alcohol, tobacco.
Wow.
So you want to stay away from a lot of these
So
things.
everything good, basically, causes heartburn.
Wedding cake.
That's right. Cake, sugar will definitely do it. So the best way of avoiding heartburn is to not be overweight. That is the #1 cause of heartburn, is when you're overweight. You know, so you want to stay on a lower carbohydrate diet. Those are low acidic foods, so that also will cut down. You want to eat more slowly. You know, giving your stomach a chance to get rid of the food. You don't want to overeat at any one sitting. You'd never want to lie down after you eat. And if you do, you want to keep the head of the bed elevated. You want to lie on your right side, because if you lie on your right side, then gravity will pull the stomach lower than the esophagus, and that's what helps keep the digestion moving. And that's why most people get heartburn at night, because you're lying down.
Right.
That relaxes the valve, and that acid goes right up into the esophagus to give you the pain.
Can stress cause heartburn?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stress, you know, no matter if you eat the right foods, what shape you're in, stress will cause excess acid thing.
So you have a bunch of stuff over
Yeah.
here. Licorice root, I see, and ginger.
Ginger, yeah, these are the things that if you do get the heartburn, even though you've done everything right, you know, you can take the bicarbonate of soda.
Sure.
Chewing gum. Chewing gum keeps the saliva, keeps that going, keeps your digestion going. Licorice root, ginger, there's chlorophyll.
Are chocolate chip cookies good for you?
Oh, this is, don't have a bedtime snack.
Oh.
Oh, don't.
No bedtime snack. This is in the don't pile.
I knew that was on the negative side.
It got on the wrong side.
So these are ways to avoid it or take care of it if you do have it. But
Absolutely.
the key is
The key
obviously
is-
avoid.
What about these new medications that you take like a pill before you eat and it's supposed to be good all day or something?
Well, I always say you should stay away from medication if you can.
So, Jim, for you, don't take the brown antacid.
Dr. Fred Pescatore with us.
Dr. Fred.
Thanks, Dr. Fred. Jim, a lot of stuff happening on the FX Day. Tell us about it.
Bet FX salutes the movie industry today. First, the making of an American quilt. Gwen McGee's with a quilt maker super collector in Houston, right, Gwen?
That's right, Jim. We've got a 5th-generation Texas quilter on hand today. She's got quilts from the 1800s to the present, as well as $1,000 quilts, and that's coming up next on Personal FX. But Tony the bride, listen, why don't you stay tuned, hang out for Personal FX, and come have your ring appraised.
I hope it's not a tribute to the Sting. Then, on Mission Impossible. Not the Tom Cruise one, but the one that inspired it. Phelps falls in love with a seductive double agent. And then Heart to Heart, the original pilot, where it's like Love Story, Babe, and Waterworld all roll into one. All this and more coming up on FX today.
I just realized now I had Tony, T-O-N-Y, and Don, D-A-W-N. I had it completely backwards, right?
It's Tony T-O-N-I, the bride, and Don,
D-O-N. Let's start the show.
Over, yeah.
Well, this was only the rehearsal. Don't worry. The actual show we do later. And what do we do in it, Jim?
Penguins on ice, Tom. Not the cute and cuddly kinds in TV ads, but the bruising Pittsburgh Penguins of the National Hockey League on Breakfast Time.
Tom Bergeron, got your skates on?
Yes, Spencer, I have my skates ready. Me and the Skating Hatch family. You've probably heard of them.
No.
The Skating Hatch family from Paterson, New Jersey.
Oh, we go way back.
Oh, yeah.
Claire, hang on a second. Here's Jerry.
Jerry, count to 10.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Bob, count to 10.
10? I've never got...
That's 10 for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Thank you.
Good morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob, the Puppet, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Tom and the Hatches.
The Hatch family are visiting viewers from Paterson, New Jersey, including, of course, Susie, the laughing chef, who made us breakfast this morning, still giggling beyond control. And we've got our wedding couple, Tony and Don Ledversus, who got the first couple married at the Empire State Building this morning, and their wedding band, Chris Jagger and Company.
Yeah!
How about that? That doesn't... They're getting a tour of the apartment.
He's exhausted. This is the hardest he's worked in years, so he's down in the game room.
They're coming back. They're going to come back for a big musical finish. Right now, we're going back to Spencer with the Pittsburgh Penguins in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. And thanks to our friends at Fox, a puck you'll never lose track of. Spencer?
That's right. Well, we're here at the practice rink, $8 million facility you have here. It's quite a setup. But we're going to meet the coach and some of the players. Now, here's the assistant coach, Brian Trottier. You can call him Trots. Now, you played with the Islanders for 15 years and with Pittsburgh for 3 years, and now you're coaching. So why'd you get out?
Well, it's a matter of health. I think I played long enough, and I couldn't keep my back strong. So this keeps me in the game. It's a nice transition. When I signed on with Pittsburgh as an assistant coach,
you miss playing at all, or
only every day? But this keeps me involved.
Yeah, at least you're here. Now, yes.
Tell Brian I said hello, please.
Okay, Lori says hello, and I understand that you, what's your relationship with her?
I don't have a relationship. Lori, how are you? I'd like to say hello. I watch you all the time. I think you're a very attractive lady.
Well, we have a special presentation for you, actually, Brian. We had got Lori a picture for you, so there you go.
I'm in. Lori, thank you.
And she wishes you a happy Valentine's Day. Okay. So, we have Richard and Dave here, of course, some of our players. Now, understand that the big part of your game is the passing, and you guys are like the leader in the passing, so could Brian and Richard show us some of the passing?
Well, yeah, the puck moves faster than the players, so the idea is to be able to control it and handle it as much as possible. So all they do is just make sweeping motion and kind of acts as deception, pull guy over, sweep over to the other guy, and he takes...
Can you have them take a shot for us and show just how fast it works out?
Just carry it down to the net, guys, take a shot for these guys real quick, and the camera can watch as you go in.
Well, we'll remedy that in about all of 2 seconds here. Now, actually, this puck travels at about 70 or 90 miles an hour when they actually shoot it. And it is hard to follow. Ow. So, here's it is. Dun, 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 dun! The official FX easy to follow puck. 70 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour plus, it will be able to be followed. So, gentlemen, we're going to put you to the test. This is the first trying out of this puck, so we're going to put it down. And Kenny's in the goal. We'll have these gentlemen take a shot on goal and see. Tom, tell me, make sure you can follow it. Go ahead, gentlemen, at your leisure. It's so much easier to follow than any other puck. It's absolutely amazing. Oh, my goodness. That was unbelievable. Now, wait a second. Congratulations, guys. Now, Kenny, let me see that puck a second here. How could you miss... Kenny, how could you miss a puck with this on it?
Well, it's when you got two guys as good as these two guys, it's pretty easy.
Okay. Well, we'll go back to our technical labs and work on maybe another edition of this that may be easy to follow and maybe a little bit more durable. We'd like to thank the Penguins, and we wish them good luck in their next game.
Go back.
It didn't say Valentine's Day.
Get it, Spencer! Go get him! Oh, they're double teaming him.
That's right, kids. Sports builds character. We'll be right back.
5-minute major for drawing blood.
You, buddy.
Good job.
Thanks.
You know, where's Claire?
What? You need to hear John Burke's mic?
Come on.
Go ahead, count to 10. Check. 1, 2.
5, 4, start playing anytime. 3, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
A minute and a half to go. Here's the whole gang.
The first bride married in the Empire State Building will be tossing out the bouquet in just a moment. Tony Ledversus, thanks to Spencer with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and to Io at Urban Glass in Brooklyn, New York, and to Treat Williams for joining us earlier.
Tomorrow, Linda Carter joins us, and Linda Davis will sing for us.
Chris Jagger's album is Rock the Zydeco. Get in position, you single woman, you. All right, bride, throw out the bouquet. It was a setup. Chris is taking us out. Personal FX is up next. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you, Chris.